All right, here we go. Today we have DJ Swamp Izzo.
Yes.
He's featured all over Playboi Carti's #1 album, Music.
Yes.
Welcome to Vlad TV.
Vlad, I need the bombs right there. You're a DJ. I need the
Drop
bombs.
some bombs, some horns.
That's right.
All that.
How you?
Well, I'm good, man. Well, first of all, I want to say, because you asked me about this before, before we started, I'm gonna wait until the interview starts.
Okay.
This is my favorite Playboi Carti album so far.
You gonna put that on record?
I'm putting that on record.
Wow.
And I'm gonna make a lot of people that I know mad right now.
Okay.
But I think this is the best DJ incorporation of a hip hop album ever. Because most times when I hear DJs yelling throughout an album, I kind of wish I had a non-DJ version of that album.
Wow.
I'm not gonna say who. We all know who, but I'm not gonna say who.
Wow.
But in this case, I feel like the vocals really brought something more to each of the songs, and you're pretty much on every song.
Every song, almost.
Yeah. And I'm just being honest right now, DJ to DJ.
Thank you.
Because we grew up in the mixtape era where it's like you had the DJ version, then you had the actual album version.
Exactly.
But I think in this particular case, the way you did it and the way it was mixed and incorporated, like even like the Kendrick song and everything else like that, is like, wow, okay, I see what you guys did on this. And I salute.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. DJ to DJ.
That's big. That's big. I didn't expect that. I thought you was going to throw me up under the bus. I was waiting. It's like, we're going to have to fight on camera. I got my moment. I got my viral moment.
Okay, so first time here, I want to start in the very beginning. You grew up in South Carolina.
Yeah.
Okay. What was that like?
Rough, boring. So boring, we just started creating things to do.
Okay.
Mostly,
Well, you said you were kind of, things were super wild during that time. You grew up around a lot of hustlers and so forth.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
For sure.
So, as a teenager, were you getting in trouble a lot, or were you generally a good kid?
Just wanted to DJ. But down here back then it was kind of racist, so it was gonna be kind of hard to avoid trouble.
So, in terms of racism, what did you encounter during that time?
I encountered a lot, just a lot of charges, being arrested for a lot of things, and they just stick them on you. Back then, I didn't really know what it was, but I still be fighting cases at this age from 30 years ago.
You still have cases right now?
From 29, 30 years ago.
Really? Can you talk about those cases all or no?
Just records, just can't expunge. They charge you with outrageous crimes back then. And it's still on the record, and I still, can't legally carry firearms and stuff like that.
Really?
29, 30 years ago.
That's crazy, because you live in Atlanta now, which is like a carry permit is like, you can go through a drive-through probably and get one.
Yeah, and it's different states, like London, Canada, started kind of hard to get through those countries.
Oh,
because of the record when I was 15, 16,
Okay. Did you go to jail at all during that time, or was it just?
Yeah, of course.
What was the most time you did?
Not long. Not days.
Oh, okay, just
Nothing
in and out. Okay. So when did the DJ thing actually come around?
In the beginning, real name Makio. Mother was always into music. Got the name, just always was infatuated with the music. My brother used to always just play with the little turntable that comes with the stereo. I just started mimicking him. Honestly.
Okay. So.
And then it went from parties, backyard, house parties, card games, and then this club up the street was just calling my name at a young age.
Club Chase?
Chase Lounge.
Right. You were like 13 years old DJing at the club?
12, 13, sneaking out the house. I could hear it. I could hear the vibration. At night, you could hear the vibration of the club, and there's just so much going on. I was just intrigued.
Yeah, the first time you DJ and you really rock the crowd and you put on that record and you get that response and the dance floor rushes, and it's nothing quite like it. Like once you get that bug early on, like it's hard for me like not DJ these days because I miss it. Yeah. But business-wise, I don't have time. But I'm saying like that fire in the beginning, like I know what you're talking about.
I had the cheat code growing up because DJing in those clubs, Chap was his name. I asked him, could a DJ? He used to always brush me off till I said, I DJ for free. He was like, what? I was like, I DJ for free. He was like, come on. He walked me in the club, and it was like, what is this kid doing? But I had a cheat code because everybody in the club told me what to play.
Yeah.
The ultimate cheat code. So I didn't have to guess. He was like, yo, play this song, and then after that, play this song. And throughout the night, I was just like bouncing back for, oh, you're not dancing? I'm gonna play your record again. And like that cheat code.
Okay, so the name Swamp Izzo. I mean, it's catchy, but where'd it come from?
A joke.
Okay.
I was going by Swamp Fox.
Swamp Fox, all right.
In school, just always wanted to be different. I said, I need the name that's gonna just stand out. My homie, back in the days, printed up 1,000 business cards. Swamp Izzo from Snoop Dogg's TV show for Shizzle My Nizzle. You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
He's like, Swamp Izzo, haha. You DJ funerals, backyard parties, just a joke and just pass it out.
Funerals.
Like, it was just like the weirdest part. It had all the weirdest, and he had his phone number on it, and he gave him the card with the joke. So everybody had the card was showing me in the hood, like, Swamp Izzo, haha. I was like, bro, why y'all calling me that? And it never left.
It's stuck.
I used it.
Yeah.
Because everybody wouldn't call me nothing else.
I mean, it's a great name. I like it, you know?
Yeah, crazy, right?
Okay, so you're living in South Carolina, then at one point you start to move around.
Yes.
All right, so where do you go?
New York, around, back to South Carolina, then Philly,
Okay.
then Atlanta.
So, I mean, I remember in 2002 as a DJ, I moved to New York because that was when the mixtape circuit was really on fire, and I felt, you know, I'm from the Bay Area. I'm like, okay, if I want to do it, New York is kind of the epicenter for mixtape DJ culture. So when you moved to New York as a DJ, what happened?
I wasn't a DJ.
Oh, okay. You just
I
hustling?
quit 1,000 times DJ.
Huh. So
I
what
was
were
a
you doing in New
rapper
York?
then.
Oh, you were rapping in New York?
I was a rapper.
Okay.
A rap.
How did that work out?
It was all right. It was a thrill. Shout out to D and Y before the motorcycle accident.
Rough
Ran
Riders?
into- Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, so you were
Exactly.
signed to Rough Riders?
No. Just
Okay.
always just bumping into guys, you know what I mean? Just rapping. I was one of those violent rappers back then.
What do you mean?
Just, you know, just a point-to-prove rapper. The best gun-slinging rapper type, you know what I mean? The violent, I was super violent, super animated,
Okay.
that type. Mason Alona.
Okay. So New York didn't work out, Philly didn't work out. So then you go to Atlanta next.
Yeah.
So what happened in Atlanta?
West Side, low-income housing, of course, trying to find a way. I don't know, God started working. I started realizing that the people around me started becoming famous.
Okay, because you moved to Atlanta, you had $27,000.
28.
$28,000.
28.
And you blew all of it on clothes.
Wow, Vlad.
Yeah.
I thought we could skip past that.
No,
Okay.
we're gonna talk about this. And then
Nah,
you became
28,000 moved with a dream and a little bit of money. I thought it was everything in the world, the life savings, moved to Atlanta. Thinking I could just get a little apartment and just start the life and start moving. But nobody would actually give you an apartment in Atlanta at that time. You had to do application fees. So we're staying in a hotel, application fee, 100, 150, 200, doing 6, 7 of them, because I'm thinking like soon as they approve it, I'm gonna just pay a couple of months up. It never happened. We staying in a hotel, $200, $300 a night. 2.5 months later,
a lot of money.
2.5 months later,
Yeah.
sleeping behind Popeyes.
So you're sleeping in your car at this point. You're essentially homeless.
All the way homeless.
All the way homeless. I mean, what was that like? Because you grew up in a relatively good home, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now you're homeless in the back of a Popeyes.
Homeless, I think all homeless is a choice, but couldn't go back to where we already created a great name for ourselves to say, put your head down. Honestly, just thugging it out. Just trying to figure out a better day, a better way. But homeless is definitely the worst thing you can do in life.
Yeah, I moved to New York. I wasn't sleeping in cars, but I was sleeping on couches. And then you get that, hey man, how long you gonna be here? Conversation, you're like, all right, well, I guess I gotta move then.
Now washing up in Popeyes,
Yeah.
the real.
Yeah, man, it happens. It happens.
Then the car broke, so then you're super homeless. So the car is sitting in one spot. and you're just walking around all day.
I mean, at that point in your life, like, what did you think you were going to do to get out of that situation?
DJ.
Okay, so the rapping thing was put aside.
Out the gate.
Okay.
I met rappers that was way better. So I wasn't one of those rappers that was caught up in my life. Once I started rapping, I thought I was good. I got to New York, and I found people from Philly that really rapped.
Yeah.
So I knew people from New York that could rap. But I don't know, something's in Philly water. Those guys are. So I started meeting guys from Philly that could really rap. And I was like, yeah, definitely, I'm a DJ. I'm a DJ. When I meet them, I'm the DJ. I'm never the rapper.
Okay, so now you're in Atlanta.
Yes.
And who do you meet first that really kind of gets the ball rolling with you?
Makio.
Makio, the rapper.
Hosted out, yeah.
Got it. Okay, and you start working with him.
Sleeping in my house. I had a little apartment by then.
Okay.
Dixie Street Apartments, East Side. Living on the East Side. My little man is living with me. He's building the relationships. My little man is in the house with me. My man, he's running around meeting everybody. He's really connecting the dots on the East Side way before I could even picture it.
Okay.
So he's coming in the house bringing the future celebrities, superstars in the house. I got all equipment, DJ equipment, record equipment. You know, I'm always keeping that around. He's just coming in, ignoring it because he don't want to do the music, but his friends do.
Right, because at one point you actually started DJing for artists.
Way past that.
Okay.
That's way. So Marco Makio, these are in the house.
Mm-hmm.
Whole Sit Around is a crazy record in the clubs, Atlanta. Crazy, strong. But at the same time, this is on the east side of Kirkwood, so Makio's here, Marco's here, and this guy over here is Meathead.
Ah, okay, I know who that is. Okay, so you got this rapper named Meathead.
But I'm not paying none of these.
Right.
I'm not paying none of these guys no mind. I'm just with my little man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm putting everything in him, and he don't want to rap at all.
Okay.
At all. He hates it. He hates me for doing music because he feel like it was always a dead end street for me.
Okay.
Young Scooter.
Young Scooter. Right, because Scooter was still in the streets during that time. He didn't really want to be a rapper.
Not in the streets, but he wanted to do the streets at that time. Still in school. He's still in school. Corn High School. Crim High School. He's just hanging around. He's just into girls and just, you know, the little bit of the street life, just hanging around it. I'm not saying he's into it. Definitely not, but he's just, you know.
Right, so Scooter's first mixtape, Plug Talk. You worked on that with him.
Correct.
Okay. And there's a song on there called Real Diamonds.
First song.
Mm-hmm. And who's on that song?
Future.
Right. Wasn't he called The Future at that point?
The Kid, The Future.
Aha.
The Kid, The Future.
Okay, so the Meathead name is out the window.
I'm just working with Scooter. Like I said, these guys are just in the building. But I just get a bunch of songs and I was like, this song is so crazy. I got to start it off with this. And back then, anybody who did a personalized mixtape, if you did a mixtape, you're gonna always start off with the main artist, the intro, the everything. It's just gotta be him.
Of course.
It's gotta be the main artist. This isn't. But I explained to Scooter, I was like, what he said, gotta start this mixtape. And at the same time, Scooter don't even care about rapping anyway, so he was like, whatever. He didn't even fight, thought about it at all.
Okay, so that mixtape comes out. What does it do?
Nothing.
Yeah.
His first mixtape, down south, I'm bringing a northern style to Southern culture. You had guys doing mixtapes, but I'm mimicking y'all, Dirty Harry. I'm mimicking the Ron G's. I'm mimicking the Clues. I'm mimicking that, like, here. They doing mixtapes, but it's not like bringing it back and...
Yeah. I mean, DJ Drama was doing that, but he's from Philly, living in Atlanta. Kinda.
He was doing it, but he was doing it for established people.
Ah, so you were doing it for the underground rappers.
I'm doing it for a no-name person you never heard in your life. You never heard, he never even rapped with it like that. Because I think this is the first mixtape Future ever been on in his life.
But you knew right away that Future was going to be next.
No.
No.
I just knew this song was dope.
Okay. And I mean, by that time, I mean, because Future, he is Rico Wade's cousin, I think?
Yes.
Right. So he's part of that kind of Dungeon family. No?
He is,
that's
but
just
he's
his cousin.
not. He is, but he's not. These guys, these street guys, you know what I mean? They're not utilizing that. That comes later in history.
Okay, so you got this mixtape, you know, folks on Young Scooter, there's a Future on there, but the mixtape doesn't really do anything. What happens next?
God work. Because at the same time, you got Future, Makio, J Money, LA. You got all these elements that's on the mixtape that's everybody's around moving. And we're recording it at a hub, which is like, and I know a lot of people don't want to mention it, but Tight, this house he had where we did all the recording from every artist on the east side of Atlanta. We recorded in one house in Atlanta. Shout to Tight. Bro, he probably got like 100 unreleased Future songs. 100 unreleased Future songs.
Huh. Well, right, because...
Rocco songs, everybody. This is the beginning of Swamp Izzo. This is the beginning of the era. This is the fire on the water before the water even boil. This is just sitting on the stove. The Plug Talk mixtape, we just trying it. I'm trying. They don't really care. I'm trying. Let's just do a mixtape. They got songs. I'm like, let me do a mixtape. Let me do a mixtape.
Okay. What happens next?
Comes out, bombs. I think Scooter, Ty got a lot of people involved in it. They invested a lot of street money into it, trying to make it do something and didn't do anything. It just brought awareness. Like, okay, he's a rapper. And it also encouraged and influenced Future to become more.
Right, because Future first pops with that YC song, right?
To the world.
To the world.
To the world, yeah.
Right. I mean, I was living in New York at the time. I'm sure in Atlanta
to the
he was
world.
buzzing, but he only does the hook on that song. Right? What song was that?
Racks on Racks.
Racks on Racks.
Racks on Racks.
Right. Because after that, then he gets a solo deal. Tony Montana comes out. Drake jumps on it. Forget about it. It's over.
The Southern Atlanta, South Carolina, Alabama, Tennessee, they was way on Future. Because you got to think, he was bubbling. He had a song, Dump That with Tight. That was still a historical song in the clubs. People don't even know he's on the song. And then you got a lot of records he was doing Big Bank Black. So the whole Big Bank Black era, Future was going with me. To the shows while I'm DJing for Black. Future's back here in the back. It's crazy.
That's crazy.
Yo, play the song at the end of the show. Play the song with me and Black on it at the end of the show. Future. And it's a hit, but Black is Big Bank Black is another beast. He's probably the only artist I ever seen in my life with a #1 record say he don't want to do it no more. Big Bank Black. I'm DJing for him. We in Houston, Texas. We got a show. I think he paying me like $350, $400 to do the DJ for him. And he's just like, Swamp, this ain't even me. We street guys, bro. We out here singing this song. I ain't doing it no more. And And I needed that money that night. And I'm looking at him like, what? Are you crazy? He was like, bro, with this, we not like, we street guys, bro. We're not doing this no more. And we left Houston, and I don't think he ever rapped again in history. #1 song. This song is crazy. With Candy from Escape.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Big Bank. Me and him talk. I'm supposed to do Big Facts next time in Atlanta.
That's big.
Yeah.
That's gonna be big.
Yeah, I think so. I was supposed to do it last time, but then I just couldn't schedule it, unfortunately. But yeah, me and him have a conversation. Me and DJ Scream.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we've had a relationship for a while.
Yeah, for a long time. Yeah.
For a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember he used to give me Shorty Low interviews and stuff
Yep.
like that back in the day.
Yep.
Okay, so
You close? Keep going.
Yeah, so you're now still struggling.
Yeah.
These rappers don't really want to rap.
Yeah. They don't want to rap because it takes so much to become what the end result, what they want. Because they want the mixtape, then they want the shows, and then they want the money. And that's a lot of mixtape. So I did 6 mixtapes for Scooter. 4 or 5 mixtapes for Thug, 4 for Future. Oh my God. Everybody. That's just the east side. That's just the east side of the story. Mm-hmm. And then everything fails. No more money, then I'm struggling again. Then try to find a better spot on the west side. Mm-hmm. And that's when it really, the Swamp Izzo brand kind of emerges.
Okay, with what artist?
I move on the west side and I run into these guys, Stacked Up Records. At the time, Drama just did the artist of the label, Young Hawk's mixtape. So this Drama's on fire, mega fire in the city. So he just did the label's mixtape. And I met the CEO, so told him my dream. He embraced me, so now I'm with the label, and now they pushing this guy. So I'm kind of like running around trying to make it make sense on the street level.
Who's the guy?
Young Hawk.
Okay.
Young Hawk, yeah, he's Trey. Shout out to Young Hawk, yeah. And then that doesn't work.
Yeah, I was gonna say that name doesn't sound familiar to me.
Then that worked. My guy, shout to Mon, he dumped so much money into my dream on that one, and that didn't work. But at the same time, he's a street guy, and other street guys is running, so he's connected. So he's telling me about these other guys. So he purchased a car from a guy named Stuntman. I'm connected.
D4L. Yeah, shout out to Shorty Low, man. He did a lot of stuff with Vlad TV very early on.
Mm-hmm.
I've hung out at his house before in Atlanta. Just a good dude, man. This was back when him and T.I. were going at it during that era. Shout out to DJ Scream.
I was there.
You know, I remember we had posted this video where Shorty Low was like, come to my studio. Like, he literally was like giving the address out on video.
I was there.
He was like, pull up.
I was right there. Mm-hmm. I was right there the whole time.
Yeah.
So I meet Stuntman. So I'm working with Stuntman and his artist Chopper family. Mm-hmm. Stuntman is Shorty Low's brother-in-law. So I'm working with Stuntman. We do the mixtape. I'm still pushing this mixtape era. He goes to Shorty Low, I got this mixtape. Shorty Low listens and says, I want one.
Okay, so trying to get the timeline right. This is way after Laffy Taffy, right?
A little bit after.
A little bit after. Laffy Taffy blows up, kind of becomes the poster child for snap music.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Correct.
That was the biggest snap music song of that era.
Correct.
It was the catchiest.
Correct.
But people also kind of like took shots at it.
Hated it.
You know? Because it's
Hated
kind of a fun, almost a kid song, even though it's not a kid song. It's about a girl. But still, it's like a song that kids could, you know.
Yep.
And I've interviewed those guys, man. I remember I was at Mix Show Power Summit, I think in the Bahamas or something.
Because they dissed the song, but then they didn't realize that everything around the song was the most dangerous things in the world. The people, the guys who rapped on the shirt, everything about the song had nothing to do with the people. So that's when the merge comes of the Shorty Low.
Well, yeah, well, you said that, you know, when you were on the road with these guys, you were actually basically like risking your life every night.
Every
being
night.
on the road with D4L?
Guaranteed.
Like, what would happen?
First of all, you got 1,000 guns, and then you got 1,000 people that's willing to use them. And I'm just sitting there with an instant replay dreaming.
Huh. I mean, was the T.I. beef still going on during this time?
No, this is way before.
This is way before. Okay.
The first mixtape we did with Shorty Low was Units in the City.
Yeah, I remember that.
No, you don't.
Okay.
Because we didn't push it.
I think I've heard of it, though. But
That's
then again,
the
I'm a Shorty
album.
Low fan. Oh, he called you. Okay, there we go. That's why. There, okay. I'm not just making this up. Units in the City was his first album, but there was a mixtape called that.
Before I'm the Man.
Okay.
I did a mixtape, Shorty Low mixtape called Units in the City. And it didn't do anything because I was really still not understanding. I was more concerned with putting the mixtape together. I haven't met Scream yet and Rip till they explained to me, like, you gotta do something with the mixtape. Don't just give it to them and let them. I'm just doing the mixtape, give it to them. Cool, I'm done. I didn't understand till I met Rip and Scream. So, you gotta do the mixtape. So every mixtape I ever did, it never did nothing because I never did nothing. I gave it to them, they pressed it up, and whatever it did, I was happy with it.
No promotion, no distribution.
I didn't
nothing.
know. I'm mimicking. So I didn't understand, and I didn't pay attention to the other part till it's too late.
No, man, you got to push it out there, man. Listen, when I was doing mixtapes, I would go to MTV. I'd go to Double XL. I'd go to The Source.
Yeah.
I would, I went to the Mixtape Awards. There's you passed the Mixtape of the Year plaque, when you first walked
I
into
used
the
to see it.
office.
I thought y'all really just paid for it.
Nah.
I didn't know.
No, I never paid for any of that stuff.
I didn't know.
The people got to love it,
Scream used to beg me
Yeah.
to do mixtapes. And I used to tell him, I'm going on the road. You can have that. He used to always laugh at me like, bro, just you're with Shorty Low. Just push the mixtape. I was like, nah. It's like, okay, I'm the man.
Okay. Well, because they know that was the Big Shorty Low song.
Correct.
That came later?
They know came later.
Okay. This is still the early stages.
Yeah, we was doing Bricks. Let's Get It was like a historical song. Let's Get It was the one, you know what I mean? That's why everything was like, shout to Shorty Low too. Rest in peace. He paid homage. Units in the City was the first ever mixtape. And I was on tour with Fabo overseas when they shot They Know video. But out of respect, he never put the video out till I got back in the country. So if you ever watch the Shorty Low video, they know everything black and white is me because they shot it with a different camera and everything they put in was from me. So if you watch the video now, you're gonna be like, oh, everything's black and white. Swamp Izzo's in it because he just wanted to make sure I was in it before he put it out. Just paying homage. And then we named the album Units in the City, which was the first ever mixtape.
Nice. Okay, so where was Young Thug during this time?
Bubbling.
Bubbling.
I don't know him. I don't know him, but he's bubbling. And this guy, Bobby, tells me about him, introducing me to him. I get in the studio, Thug says nothing to me. He's in the corner with his family. He kept his family with me. I'll tell everybody this because it was amazing to me. He kept his sisters with him. His family, he kept them with him. Unbelievable. Everything he did in life, he kept his family with him. And that was the dopest. That's one thing I loved about him. Like, it didn't matter how big he got, how small he got. He kept his family with him.
I mean, I heard Young Thug with Stoner. That was the first record I heard.
For real?
I was living in LA at the time.
Okay.
I'm not in Atlanta, okay? I get a pass.
Okay.
Don't look at me like I'm crazy, like I'm not tapped in.
LA is a tough, you're right, culture to crack. You're right.
Okay?
Right.
That was the first song that really blew him out of Atlanta. Stoner. Am I right?
Wrong. Well, yes. In that case, LA, from LA's version, yes. Okay, yes.
In fact, I remember I was in New Orleans for All-Star Weekend, and I was on stage with Drake, and Drake was DJing, and he played that record. Stoner.
Wow.
And I'm like, oh, wow. Okay, Drake is tapped in. All right, okay. This is interesting.
I seen Drake do that too somewhere else, but go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. And Young Thug, I feel like, listen, every rapper is obviously unique, but Young Thug was different than everyone else. Like what he was doing rapping wise, was not traditional rap on any level.
Hands down.
Yeah, he was singing, rapping. You don't always understand him. I mean, he was almost like a rock star from jump. When you first heard him, did you see the vision of it all, or not really?
First verse, first hook.
Huh.
Because he never said nothing to me. He's in the studio. They play the songs. Like, we're going to do the mix. We want you to do the mixtape, Swamp. Tell me what you think. This is my first introduction to him.
Mm-hmm.
First hook, I stopped. Like, who is this? I never heard nothing like this in Atlanta. Like the cadence, the form, the unorthodox, nothing. This can't be him. Because he don't even look nothing like that. I'm like, this can't be him. And he walks over and say, Swamp, it's me. He knew who I was. I was like, wow. And we start playing. He's like, nah, skip past that song. I want you to hear this one. And I was like, oh, wow.
Right, but I guess Young Thug didn't really want to rap either.
I don't say he want to rap. I just think he wanted people to believe in him because they used to tell me to go get. I always got him, like go get him on some rap. So whatever he was doing, whatever you ever heard he was doing, I don't know. But when I got him, he rapped. So that's why you see all the YouTube videos. I always just record him in the studio. I take him to Bankhead, come on my side of town, and he's just being there rapping in the studio. So you'll see a lot of those videos floating because I used to have him in and just rap. He was willing to rap like this, no matter what. So whoever he was outside of me, when he was with me, he was Young Thug to the fullest. Like, he did not stop. It didn't matter who was in the room. He was not shy. He could turn it on and turn. It didn't matter. He was any rapper. He was just going crazy.
Okay, so right around 2021, you actually signed to Cash Money.
Officially.
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 Now, were you working with Birdman up to this point?
2014.
Oh, for a while. Okay, shout out to Birdman. Me and him talk. We're supposed to do an interview at one point. You know, we've talked about it probably about a dozen times.
Yeah, you know how he is with the
I know how he is. I'm not taking it personally.
I just talked to him like 10 minutes ago, yeah. Now, you know how he is with the He wants to do it, though.
No, I know he wants to do it.
But he just want to be
comfortable. He called me and said, I want to do it. Yeah, that's how it started.
He got to just be able to smoke.
That was like 2 years ago.
Let him smoke a cigar or whatever. He's going to talk. He has no problem.
Yeah, tell him I said what's up next time.
No, for sure.
Okay, so now you're signed to Cash Money, and is there like an album that's supposed to come out?
Yeah, the single was to promote the album, Lifestyle. You're going too fast, Vlad. Slow down.
Too fast. Okay.
The tour was my project.
The tour. Okay.
Lifestyle was my single.
Rich Gang Lifestyle? So that was supposed to be your single. What happens?
Politics. We couldn't put names on them. Everybody signed everywhere. And Stardom was like, let's just make it make sense. Let's just have some fun with it. Because couldn't really make no money off it. Everybody else made money. Everybody, he turned everything upside down.
Right, because Rich Homie Quan is on that too, right?
That's before that. Rich Homie Quan was mega big, super big.
Yeah, I did his first interview, I think.
He was humongous. Rich Homie Quan?
Yeah.
Mega big.
Yeah. Yeah, I was in Atlanta.
Out of here.
During some BT weekend.
Before. I'm saying before the...
Yeah. Fly hooked us up. That was his second artist, because Trinidad James, who I just ran into on the airport.
Rich Homie Quan is here, radio, everything.
Yeah.
Thug is like here, street core.
But Rich Gang, that kind of just took off organically, I feel. Like people just love the music.
Yeah, you just put everybody together.
Right,
Got Thug.
Quan, Thug.
Swamp.
And you. Okay, so you're signing Cash Money, the single that was supposed to be yours ended up being Rich Gang. Mm-hmm. What ends up happening with that deal?
We never officially locked in because it couldn't get everybody on the same accord outside of the artist. So whatever was going on behind the scenes, they couldn't just get it. And the record was just taking a world of its own.
Okay.
Now it's released #1, it's just going crazy. Everybody's doing shows off it, everybody's, and the main focus was Thug. I'm with Thug. So whatever he's doing, I'm doing, if that make any sense. Because they're still solo artists.
Yeah.
Quan is still already who he was.
I mean, when does the friction between Quan and Young Thug start?
I seen it just like the world seen it on the internet. I woke up, because we were supposed to go on tour. So I dumped all my money into this big tour bus. I'm like, I'm about to go tour. We about to, yeah, I'm talking to Stunner. He was like, oh, stop what you're doing. We out of here. We about to eat this road up. This is the life. This is how you get the money on the tour. And then I wake up and then everybody hasn't, having discrepancies or whatever the issue is.
Look, me and Quan maintained a relationship.
Rest in peace, Quan.
All those years, right? We regularly did interviews. We got on the phone. We talked.
I seen most of them.
Yeah. And I remember when the YSL RICO case was happening. And this is something I kept quiet because Quan was alive. And he told me not to say anything because this was our relationship. But so I remember I did an interview with George Sheedy, and he actually talked about some paperwork where they were saying that the whole friction came from Quan not wanting to sign to Young Thug, and that's where kind of Nut stepped in and so forth. And he gave me the paperwork. I called up Quan and I said, listen, I got this, but I'm not going to put it out because you're my man. But what are your thoughts on this? He goes, it's true. This is what this whole friction is about. And, I didn't want to sign with Thug, and this is what kind of caused the problems and so forth. I never said anything until Quan died. And I brought this up to some other people, and they're like, well, it's hard to really tell at this point because so much has passed. I mean, from your point of view, when I say that, what do you think? I have
no idea of that because I've heard so many stories, but if Quan said it, that's true. I want to doubt it because I was there during the creation, and I think, honestly, anything could have happened outside of when I wasn't there. Their chemistry was unbelievable, musically. I seen them sweat together, I seen them stay in the booth hours and hours and hours. I don't think nothing would have broke that bond up with a piece of paper. Unless it was some outside, so I can't say. I seen it with my own eyes. That was crazy, and I was always assumed it was like the label he was signed to was an issue, and the label Thug signed to was an issue. I never knew they had like too many personal issues.
I mean, when you saw the YSL RICO case unfold, and everybody gets arrested, nobody gets bail, and then people start pleading out to these RICO charges where they're getting, essentially 10-year probations and stuff like that, but Thug is still in jail. Are you and Thug communicating at all during this time?
No. They mentioned in my name in the mixtapes and all, of course.
Right, but just whatever. Yeah. How'd you feel about that whole situation?
That was sad. That was sad because I really knew what he really wanted to do as far as changing the world with the music. I really knew everything else that happened. That was just watching it like a sad movie.
Well, yeah, and what's even sadder is that before the trial concludes, Quan ends up dying from an overdose. And I honestly think it had something to do with the stress of possibly getting dragged into this trial. That's what I think. We'll never know.
We never know.
We'll never know.
But he always came by the club. Me and Quan always kept a crazy relationship. All those guys were still cool. I still rock with his brother. His brother still kick it. Like, whatever you were seeing going on the internet, that's what I just, for my personal, I just don't think they just got a chance to talk. From my understanding, it was a video that came out, and it was misunderstood what Quan was saying on stage.
Huh. Yeah, because I remember there was a video where Young Thug called him like bitch Homie Quan on stage, and but I don't know what led up to it. But after that, it seemed like
whatever misunderstanding they had, that's what from my perception, that's what it was. But no, I wish they could have all, got to communicate.
I mean, when you heard the news that Rich Homie Quan died, how'd you feel?
Sad, real sad, real sad. Because he always came to the club and rocked with me. He always came. If he came to the Flame, he definitely rocked with me at the Flame, for sure. I got multiple videos. He always said, we're gonna get back in. Let's get it. We're gonna get back in.
Sad, man. That one hurt me. Because like I
That
said, me and him
definitely was-
started kind of
yeah.
like in the beginning. Like I literally did his first interview in his apartment lobby. You know what I'm saying? Like it was, and I got to see him blow up and really establish himself.
I did the first mixtape
His first mixtape. Yeah.
when he was in the group, LOR.
Oh wow. Yeah, I mean, listen, I've interviewed guys like Quando Rondo who said they, you know, he really kind of built his style around Rich Homie Quan.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people really were like the kids of Quan. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Really looked up to him and kind of emulated what he did.
For sure.
So it was a loss, man. It was sad.
For sure.
Okay, so let's talk about Future for a second. So you were there when he actually started calling himself Future.
Yes.
And then you got to see his glow up. Like I said, he was on the YC song. That was the first national look.
Mm-hmm.
Then Tony Montana was his first solo song.
Mm-hmm.
Drake jumped on that, and that became
Mega.
mega. The Drake stimulus package has always been
Always.
a very strong thing.
Unbelievable. Yes.
Unbelievable.
In
over the
Atlanta,
years.
for sure.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Well, really everywhere, honestly, because Drake was really like a megastar by that point.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Future signs, I think, to Epic.
Yes.
And then he just puts his foot on the gas and just never lets go.
That's all he needed to be heard worldwide. That's it.
Yeah. Were you surprised at all as to how big he got?
No. He was already, those guys were fashionable. So I know they just need to be seen. You gotta think, when I'm DJing in Libras, these clubs in the whole, on the east side, when it's just a different type of element, a real, you got ABG, you got all these elements, duct tape. I'm talking about I'm DJing in those clubs. And then Future coming in and dressed like he on the runway. Back then. So I'm like, if you ever seen The Star, he was already having that element.
You know, he had the look. Back then. I mean, and I remember when he ended up hooking up with Sierra. That's actually where I did my interview with him. He was in the studio in New York, and Sierra like popped her head in. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
This is really happening. All right.
Back then, he was already fashionable. He was before the music. He already understood like I needed to have that look.
Right. And then he does the collab album with Drake, and it's just out of here. I mean, he was huge by that point, but once he did that, that was unbelievable.
Yeah. I DJ'd an event at Clark Homecoming. Young Dose was the artist. Probably don't remember him. Young Dose was the artist. I'm DJing, we brought out Rich Kids, and then Dose was like, I want to bring Future out. I was like, they don't know him yet. She's like, I gotta bring Future on stage. He said, plays the song. Future walks on stage, crowd. Literally like, don't understand the boos. I said, Dose, see, I told you, bro, it's not time. 1 year later, Clark University, there's nowhere to park.
Yeah.
I'm DJing at the bowling alley. I got Future's first paid $7,500 just to perform at a bowling alley. Wall to wall, shout to Gooch. Wall to wall. He was already big. When Drake touched him, it was just turned the light on. He was already gone.
Yeah. And still to this day, like,
If Drake didn't touch him, it'd have probably been he would still been here today.
yeah, I believe it.
He was unstoppable. Every song, every verse, every hook, it didn't matter.
Yeah, from what I understand, because I've interviewed.
That's what the YC saw. I ain't want to cut you off. That's what the momentum was so much. When he did the YC thing, it was like just a guy you don't even know shooting him off.
Yeah, I remember I interviewed ATL Jacob, and he used to say how Future just would knock out 20 songs in a day. He would just keep recording.
For sure.
Most of those, most of these songs would never see the light of day.
For sure.
It didn't matter. He would
For
just
sure.
keep.
For sure.
That's how he is.
For sure.
Just one of those types of artists. So then the song Three Cell Phones featuring Future.
Yes.
What does that end up doing?
I think that turned the light on for me because everybody was still like, who is Swamp Izzo? So that was his reach back for me because I got this whole record deal, Cash Money. now it's time for me to just put a mark on the earth. I called Future, I Need You. Gave me 6 records. I haven't even got a chance to call Thug because I'm in LA and Thug DMs me like, pull up on me. Gunner's in the studio, everybody in the studio. Thug was like, I'll just do a whole album. Like, let's not just do songs. Before I did the Carti thing, Thug was already telling me, I'ma just do an album with you. Let's just do an album. And I'm so slow, I'm still slow-minded. I'm like, I just need a single, bro. Like, I don't want to prolong it. I should have just took the album.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking like, I need a single out. I need a single. I'm thinking old school, I need a single out. So I put the single out with 3 cell phones, Future. And that's why you see the video, everybody's in it. Actually, Thug's birthday. He did the whole video, hung out the whole day.
Yeah,
Shout out to Thug.
2021, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the end of 2020, 2022.
Okay. Playboi Carti.
Yes, we're here. Your favorite album of all times.
Yes. Well, not my favorite album of all time, my favorite Carti album.
I just want to put that in your mouth. Just don't correct me, man. Your favorite album of all times, man. Say it.
My favorite Carti album of all time.
Okay.
Great album. So, when did you guys hook up?
2.5, 3 years ago.
Okay, somewhat recently. And by this time, Carti's already a megastar.
Super megastar.
Yes.
Super.
Yep.
Cult following, not fan base. Cult following, 2 different things.
Carti, kind of like Young Thug, is just a very different type of rapper.
Correct.
You can't really classify what they do. You can't really duplicate it.
Correct.
It's just who they are.
Correct.
Before you guys met, what were your thoughts on Carti's music?
I was already listening to him because he was rocking with the family. He got songs with Nicki Minaj, Uzi Vert. You know what I mean? I was already listening to him. But when the rock star era, of course, I wasn't into that as much. Of course.
Yeah, it's sort of like an acquired taste.
Yes.
You don't
I just didn't understand it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the first time you hear Playboi Carti, you don't always get it right away.
That's correct.
At least more so his older stuff.
Yeah.
Right? So you know about him, you like some of his stuff, but you're not like a super fan yet. So you guys meet, what happens next?
First night, I think we knocked out like 5 songs. Shout to Fritz. They called me one night, they in the studio. I'm at the Flame, I could barely hear him. He's like, yo, bro, wanna holler at you. I told him, he's like, where you at? I'm like, a club. It's like, I hear it, I'm coming. No, matter of fact, you come to me, I'm at the studio. He sent me the address. I left the Flame, and when I knocked out a few songs.
Okay, so by this time, Whole Lotta Red album is already out.
Correct.
So he's, I guess, lightweight gearing up for the new album, but not really. Doesn't seem like he's really in a hurry to drop albums.
When I started coming around, he already had an album done.
Really? This is 3 years ago?
Yes.
So this is 2022.
Correct.
Okay, but this album never comes out.
Not yet.
Okay, is there a name for this album?
I can't say.
Okay. How many of these songs ended up on music?
None.
None. So that whole album got scrapped.
Not scrapped.
Just put aside for a while.
Yeah.
Okay.
Had to put it back. We was just creating and the energy, coming in new energy, that's all.
Okay, so what happens over the next couple of years?
I want to say the first thought of it was just for me to do what I always do. Just animate, just hype up a few songs. So that's what it was in the beginning. I come over, knock out a few songs, slap hands, all right, appreciate it, let me know what it does. And then God started working. The next Rolling Out show, people start hearing this voice and start inquiring, like, what is this voice? And then we start going back in, like, we need to do one more. And then we start doing 1, 2, 3, till we get up to like 130 songs.
130 songs.
It's so hard to narrow them down for the album.
Okay. Because I remember at one point you actually were trolling academics. You were saying there's supposed to be a drop that never happened.
I had to.
Okay.
I had to.
I mean, was this something you guys kind of strategized? Okay, like everyone's waiting for the album, so let's just put out some false info to kind of mess with people.
And honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you. No, because I kind of turned the curve too fast on announcing the album.
Okay.
Because it went, like I said, we was just recording, and I still got a record deal over here. So I'm like, I just might as well just drop me one with you like that. So I just did one interview like, yo, me and Carti got an album done. I don't even know how strong his fan base is. So once I says that, it kind of like pushes forward the movement like, oh, now we gotta go. Now we need to take it serious. Like we're not just recording, now we need to take it serious for a project.
The project name, Music. It says I Am Music, but the real title is Music.
Yes.
How did that come together?
The title?
Yeah.
It's nothing else to define it. I just didn't want to classify it. I didn't want to categorize. I didn't want to put it in a box. I didn't want fans to get confused because adding my elements to it, it's kind of like at a point where he already built up so much of a fan base, and bringing me onto it, it could destroy it or could help it.
I mean, when
So I didn't want to kind of stick to his formula with a title. That confuses everything, especially when you pop it in.
I mean, look, people have DJs. You have projects that have DJs kind of yelling throughout and so forth. How did you guys decide that you essentially are going to be on almost every song? Because you're on Mojo, Backdoor, Good Credit, Trim, Crank, Crush, South Atlanta Baby, Pop Out, like Weezy. Like, you know what I mean?
Rather Lie.
Yeah.
Eva Jordan.
Yeah.
Keep going. Just say them all,
Munyan,
Vlad.
Rather Lie,
Just say
Radar.
all of them, Vlad. No, I was just messing with you.
Yeah, no, I mean, like Weezy, like it goes on and on.
Correct.
It's almost every song. How did you guys come up to that decision that like your tag is just going to be on everything?
That was just narrowing down the songs. And God. We had so many songs.
So there's some songs that you're not on, but those didn't get picked.
Correct.
Aha. Okay. And like when you look at the track listing, the producers, just the number of producers on this album is crazy. Like there's certain songs with like 10 producers on it. Like Backdoor is Kanye, Twisco, Keanu Beats, Nagra, Darius Rameshni, Ojavolta. Did I pronounce it right?
Correct.
So that's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 producers on just this one song.
Had to be.
Why, you know, a lot of times like you have albums where it's like a rapper and like one producer. Might be some, you know, little co-production here and there. Why so many songs like with tons of different producers?
To be the number one in the world.
Okay. So you were just trying to get as much talent
As possible. Trying to make it the biggest album in the world. And we was just trying to, like you said, you can't follow that formula. That formula wasn't getting people number one. So we had to have all type of input.
Leading up to the album, do you know the actual release date and that it's about to come out?
Yes.
Okay. When it dropped, how'd you feel?
Tired. It was up 4 days, 3 days, 3.5 days straight. Cramming, because we recorded all the way up to the actual album came out.
Oh, so you're still tweaking the songs and everything else like that.
When it was supposed to come out at 12 to 3, we went back in.
Oh, okay.
From 3 to 6, you had I started going back in the studio. Alive. All that is recorded like in a 3-hour, 4-hour period.
Well, and the features on it are insane.
Of course.
Travis Scott.
Of course.
The Weeknd.
Of course.
Kendrick Lamar.
Of course.
Lil Uzi Vert. Young Thug.
Can't leave it out. Of course.
Future.
Yes.
Ty Dolla $ign.
Yes.
Am I missing anybody? Skepta.
Yes.
Janae Aiko.
Yes. Backdoor.
Yeah. By the way, what was Janae Aiko's role on Backdoor, is she singing with
on the
Kendrick
hook,
at the
yes.
same time?
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. Okay, because I couldn't hear her vocals individually, so I'm assuming that they were layered.
No, since I told you, you're going to hear it now.
Yeah, right. That's what I figured.
Yeah.
Now, my favorite song on the album is Good Credit.
Songs?
Song.
Song?
I'm giving you one.
One?
No, I mean, I like the album. I mean, the album is dope, but I'm saying if I were to pick one song, the song that I listen to the most, Good Credit.
Wow.
Yeah. Whose idea was it to get that homeless guy audio on the intro?
Definitely. I won't take credit for that now. That was crazy. When I first heard it was crazy.
No, I mean, like someone actually posted the original video. I'm like, this
probably
is where
Fritz,
it
man.
came
Shout out
from.
to Fritz. Fritz is up every night. Fritz probably was up late and just like, shout out to Fritz, man. That's probably got to be his idea.
Now, were you in the studio when, because Kendrick's on 2 songs.
Yes.
He's on Backdoor and Good Credit.
I think they went to LA and did that. No.
Okay, you went there.
I just influenced it at it, did what we do. I couldn't just let Kendrick rap like that. You know that. I couldn't just let him. I had to be a part of that.
I mean, how did you feel when, like, you're hearing the song with Kendrick, and at that moment, Kendrick is the biggest thing on the planet. He just did the Super Bowl.
It's more Kendrick.
Oh, there's more Kendrick songs? Okay. Well, let me just ask the question. You're hearing the song with Kendrick, and you got Swamp Izzo, yelling throughout the song. Like, how did that feel?
I felt like when y'all did Rap Phenomenon, how did that feel?
Yeah.
I felt like that.
Like that.
Like, oh my God.
Great answer.
Oh my God.
So how many Kendrick songs are there aside from the 2 that are on the album?
Is it 2?
It's 2. Is there more than 2 Kendrick songs on the album? Am I missing something? I'm not seeing anything else.
How many songs you see?
I see 2. Good Credit and Backdoor. Are they saying there's other Kendrick vocals on this album that I'm not
Correct.
catching? Really? Which song?
Can't tell you, gotta listen. It's the #1 album in the world you haven't listened yet. Vlad, please just listen.
Okay. All right, I gotta go back.
Listen.
I mean, I've been listening to the album. I'm telling you, like, I sincerely like the album. Like, okay, the album comes out, #1 the first week. What, 330,000 sold, something like that? Now, that wasn't surprising considering the anticipation and the fan base. But then the second week, #1 again. Now, that's something you don't see a lot. In fact, I think I saw that every song on the album charted, which is the first time a rapper has ever done that. Am I right about that?
Correct.
I mean, how does it feel to just sit back and say, wow, like I was a part of this?
I haven't yet. I'm running.
Yeah?
I haven't yet to sit down and say, wow.
So do you have like points on the album? Are you like a official co-contributor to
It's
each
my
song?
album. It's my album.
That's what's up.
It's my album. Welcome. Thank you. I gave you the #1 album of your life. I know you don't want to admit it. Now it's a message.
Well, Kanye West. Now, Carti and Kanye had been working together. They had been working together for a while.
Are.
Okay. So on Kanye's last album, I mean, before Bully, Playboi Carti's on it.
Yes.
But then Kanye's song was allegedly left off of Playboi Carti's new album. Do you know the song I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
You've heard it.
Of course.
Okay. Is it a song that's on the album already and Kanye's vocals were taken off?
No.
Oh, it's a totally different song.
Correct.
Okay. Why do you think that Carti took that song off?
Not took it off. We had 130 songs. We had to turn in 25. 5 more had to be on it.
Huh. So you guys just trimmed it down.
Had to.
But like I mentioned before, Kanye actually produced on the album.
Yeah.
So he's on there, just not
Correct.
as a vocalist.
There you go.
Okay. Well, Kanye starts being Kanye and starts dissing Playboi Carti and Started saying stuff like, "Oh, I never fucked Iggy Azalea because of you."
Did he say that?
Yes.
I didn't hear that.
You didn't hear that?
No.
Hold on. Let me pull up the tweet.
No, I didn't hear it. I don't want to hear it. I just didn't hear it.
Okay. And I guess Iggy responded and said the first time she met up with Kanye, he was like playing porn and saying how he masturbates to her ass in the morning.
Oh.
All types of crazy shit.
Vlad is unbelievable. Wow, Vlad.
He was asking about her boyfriend's penis size and
Wow.
just being really extra Kanye.
Nah, I definitely don't know that. That's a good one. That's a good one.
But he starts going at Carti hard, and then like Carti responds. He said, "Yay, shut the fuck up."
Mm-hmm.
Now, did you and Carti have conversations about this at all?
No.
Okay. Because just earlier today, Kanye tweeted, I love Carti. You saw that?
Yeah.
I guess you can't really take Kanye all that seriously at any given moment.
I don't think it's, if you know him. So I don't think what he writes is truly what he means.
Were you ever in the studio with Kanye?
No. On the phone, just FaceTime.
Oh, okay, got it. Well, and then Kanye was complaining that I guess Carti went to Kim Kardashian and tried to get Northwest vocals on a song. Do you know about this at all?
I seen that.
But are you familiar with what song these vocals are supposed to be on?
No.
Or is this something that Kanye is just making up?
I never heard of that at all. So I don't know, honestly. Of an actual song or anything. I don't know anything about that, to tell you the truth.
Well, now the album's out.
Number one.
Your
favorite album.
Yes.
Of all time.
Of all time. Better than Illmatic and The Chronic and everything else like that. No, but I mean,
shout
honestly,
out to all those records.
No, but really, like, I feel like this is the first Playboi Carti album that I kind of just got. Like, when I first listened to it all the way through, I was like, yeah, all right. I see what he's doing artistically on this one.
High energy. You wasn't supposed to sit down.
Yeah, I felt like the beats were like, you guys took it up a notch this time around in terms of like the sonically how it came together and the way his voice is layered on it and everything else like that. I'm like, okay, like I feel like he's really like in a swing now. Well, you have this whole high of being on this really dope number one project.
Number one album, your favorite album.
Everything else like that.
Yes.
But then life has a way of kind of humbling you really quickly. So we talked about Young Scooter earlier. You did his first mixtape, convinced him to rap. You know, he went on to have a career. But then a tragedy happens a few days ago. Were you in contact with Young Scooter up to this point?
Yes.
Okay. So Scooter is celebrating his 39th birthday party.
Not yet.
Not yet? Okay.
It happened during the day.
This was during the day. Okay,
His
but he turned
day of his
39 that
birthday.
day. So a phone call comes in from a woman claiming that there's a woman being like held hostage and so forth, and the police arrive. Why do you think Scooter ran when the cops showed up? Because he wasn't doing anything. From what I understand, this was like almost a prank call, or it was almost a swatting incident.
I don't know. I think I was raised, I think we always raised to the police knock on the door, run. Especially if you don't know what's in the house. You don't know who's here. You don't know. You don't want to get caught in the situation. You don't know.
Well, he ends up running from the police. He jumps a fence and ends up having a really horrific leg injury, I think.
Hurting his leg, breaking his leg.
And they take him to the hospital, but he passes away. When you first heard the news, what did you go through?
Straight to the hospital.
Oh, you went to the hospital to go see him?
Yes.
What happens by the time you arrived?
Just mixed information. Nobody really knew what was going on. They was taking his body to another place, examiner office, and holding him because when it happened on the weekend.
I mean, when I first heard, because at first the news was different. First, it's like young Scooter was shot by the police.
That's what the actual doctor said.
Really?
The doctor said it.
He told you that?
His mother.
The doctor told Scooter's mother that the police had shot him.
Not the police shot him. Let me rephrase that. That he was shot.
Okay. Well,
not the police that shot him. Let me correct that.
I'm not a medical doctor, but I think I could look at someone and say this is a bullet wound versus a broken leg. They're not really all that similar. So why would a medical doctor say something different than what the police are saying?
I got there like he died 30 minutes before I got there.
Okay. Sorry for
and I was just confused because her heart is broken. So she's explaining to me this is what's happening. And I'm talking to his son, and his son says his leg is broke. So I'm asking her, like, he's saying his leg is broke. They never said that. And she said, no. They say he's been shot. I said, he's been shot. She was like, yeah, he has a lot of blood in his chest area. He's been shot. But his son is telling me that his leg has been broken. So that was the confusing part.
Well, what's the actual truth?
His leg was broken and main artery.
Why would the doctor tell his mom the wrong information? Yeah. I mean, did you break down in the hospital?
No.
No. Yeah, man, it's sad. It's sad. It seemed like him and Future maintained a great relationship. I mean, he was free bands.
Of course.
You know, they always did stuff together and so forth.
Shout out to Future, of course.
You know, Scooter never really reached mainstream success, but I feel like everybody knew who he was. Everyone respected him. He had songs with everyone, you know, from Future to Gucci to everyone, really.
He started liking, I seen him, the last performance he did, Boss Man D-Lo brought him out, and he actually smiled on stage. I think that's the first time I ever seen him smile rapping. He never liked it. Even when I was working on my album, I was like, give me some songs. He was like, for what? Literally, like, he thought it was just like, I was like, bro, I got a record deal, bro. You got to do some songs. It's like, Izzo, man. He was like, I was just stressing him out about it.
Hey, man, listen. Hip-hop is one of those things where you kind of have to be all in.
Correct.
You have to just completely devote your whole life to it.
Correct.
You could maintain and make income and so forth if you're not all in, if you have one foot in somewhere else. But if you really want to get to a Future level, a Drake level, a Carti level, these guys are not, they don't have side gigs. They're not doing other shit.
22 hours a day, guaranteed.
Yeah, they're just locked in, and that's all they do. If they're not in the studio, they're touring. You know, and then they're back in the studio. So
I never seen Carti sleep.
Really? He's
Not
just up all
personally.
the time.
Every time I walk in the studio, the lights are low, it's a lot of smoke, and he's levitating in the corner like literally, like I'll be like, bro, this is gonna be another session.
Yeah. Well, look, man, I mean, congrats on that album. And I'm sorry if you're lost with Scooter. So I know this is kind of messing you up because you're happy and sad at the same time. You know, you got to sort of balance it in a way. And one thing that I want to mention also, which I think is incredible, that I don't know if a lot of people talk about, is at one point you were actually DJing for Barack Obama.
Yeah, we did the morale. Shout out to DJ Thorough. They never mentioned his name with me, but me and DJ Thorough.
Okay, I know Thorough from New York. Wait, Different Thorough?
Yeah.
Yeah, DJ Thorough from New York.
Yeah, it's my guy.
All right. Making sure we're talking about the same person here.
Yeah.
And you guys actually toured Afghanistan?
Kuwait, all the Southeast region. We did so many dates, man. That's my guy, man. Me and him became real good friends.
You and
Just
Obama?
out there. Me and him became real good friends. Still to this day, we was out there sleeping in the desert.
You know, when people talk about my dream interviews, Obama is one of them.
Cool.
Like I'm such a huge fan
For real?
of Obama. Yeah, it's probably my favorite. If I look at the presidents of my lifetime, I would say that's my favorite president.
He definitely moves. He definitely changed my life. He definitely moves for real. Like Secret Service, I don't know how everybody else get hurt. And I don't want to say that on camera, but I don't know how anybody's get hurt. Secret Service is no joke.
What was something that you learned from conversations with Obama?
No, I really never had no conversation with Obama.
Oh, really?
Secret Services.
Oh, so you can't even get close to him?
When he's about to come on stage, everybody move.
Uh.
So we did them around. So we hype it up. Yo, everybody, where are you from? Ooh, they in the desert. They in a different country. They could be losing their life. So we just over there making them feel good about just being over there. We like some entertainment, if that make any sense. So we'll entertain them, and then you come out, say a speech, and then on to the next base.
Yeah, man, it's Obama. You
Shout
do
out to
whatever he
Kuwait.
feels
Kuwait
like.
was the best base. Shout out to Camp Taji and Afghanistan. That was dope. But Kuwait, their base, it's like a 10-star hotel.
I bet it's Obama.
Me and Thorough over there eating lobster tails all night. They treat us like kings now. Shout out to them. Shout out to the whole U.S. Army service.
Now, Playboi Carti kind of teased that there is an upcoming project with you.
Baby Boy.
That's the name of it?
Baby Boy?
Baby
Baby
Boy.
Boy's coming.
Okay. So, how close are we to actually getting a release date on this?
Yeah, we might as well wrap this interview up. You trying to get it out, Vlad. There's no date, Vlad. Stop. Stop. You are the best, Vlad. You are the best. You are the best, Vlad.
Is it going to happen this year?
I pray.
You pray. How many songs do you have done?
I think we gave them 30 in the beginning and released 4 more.
Right.
It's 34 songs in 1 year. And they still haven't listened to the album.
Okay. So how many songs do you have recorded just for the project with you? And
Still have 100 songs, remember?
oh, so you're just going to go into that
No.
pile.
I'm just saying, we have 100 songs left.
Yeah.
Before I even met him, he probably had 300, 400 songs.
Yeah.
And he's working right now as we speak.
Is ASAP Rocky still involved? Because he originally signed Playboi Carti,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
Is Carti still signed?
Correct.
Oh, okay.
But never leave.
Okay.
That's his guy. He'd never leave. Super lawyer. Carti's that guy too. He's like that. Super lawyer.
How involved was ASAP Rocky in this new album?
I think he's definitely involved. 100%.
Okay. So he'd be in the studio?
I never was in the studio with him.
Oh, okay.
No, I never was in the studio with him.
Okay. But Rocky's still involved. I just interviewed Joe Tacopina, who was ASAP Rocky's lawyer.
That's right.
When he got off with the gun case. What'd you think about that case?
That was dope. Remind me of Tupac, how he was walking in the courthouses back then. If you ever been in the Tupac court cases.
Yeah, I remember at the end of the interview, I asked Joe, I said, Joe, if I catch a gun case, how much is it going to cost to have you protect me? He said, a lot.
A lot?
I said, okay, let me rephrase this. Let me rephrase this question. I have a lawyer right now. She charges me $950 an hour. How much do you charge for an hour? He said, $2,400. I said, I have never. Everyone I've said this to, and I'm talking about like other like multimillionaires who have big lawyers, nobody could believe this number. This number is the most outrageous number I've ever heard. $2,400 an hour. Yeah. But look, he just walked away from a gun case where he's on video shooting a gun, and there was the witness who's taking the stand. That bitch on point like A$AP Rocky.
He walked away. And walked away.
And he walked away from it.
Walked away.
So, that's money well spent.
Shout out to A$AP. Shout out to A$AP. No, for sure.
So what's next for you?
The movie?
The movie. What movie?
I Am Music.
Oh, there's a movie for I Am Music coming.
It's your favorite album in the world. You didn't know that? It got to be a movie.
Okay, is it being filmed already?
No, I was just messing with you. I had
Okay.
Right. Felt good though. If you almost went for it, Black.
No, man.
Got you. You almost went for it.
You didn't get me this time. Okay.
Nah, for real. Nah, we just working on more music.
Okay.
I can't get no information, but I promise you, it's probably gonna be my best year of my life. Musically. What's coming?
Is Carti ever going to do an interview?
Yes.
Because I remember he showed up on, Aiden Ross's stream for like 5 minutes and then bounced.
Yes. Yeah. Just got to be comfortable. If you could just make comfortable, he's one of the realest. He's one of the realest artists ever on earth. He came and grabbed me. You know what that means. He's paying attention.
Yeah.
He's at least paying attention.
Yeah. Well, DJ Swamp Izzo, man, our first interview. Congrats. Congrats on what you pulled off. I feel that this album would not be what it is without your contribution.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you.
Like I said in the very beginning, there's lots of albums out there that have DJs throughout that I wish I had a non-DJ version of that album.
Wow.
But this right here, if you take Swamp Izzo out of the equation, I don't think you'd have the magic you guys put together. So thank you for your contribution to a great album.
Thank you.
And looking forward to that project.
Thank you.
You got with Carti, whatever else you got going on.
Thank you.
That's what it is. Peace.